Hello and welcome to Murphy's Garden, and you join me on this absolutely beautiful day. The birds are singing, the sun is shining, and it doesn't happen very often, so it's important to enjoy it when it does. So there's lots and lots to do in the garden at this time of year. I'm sure you're all finding the same thing. If the sun comes out, it's this great opportunity to get going, and you come out and you think, oh, I don't really know what to do first because everything needs done. So we're just going to do a few jobs today. Don't really know what at the moment. Alistair's just coming out. Murphy's out as well because it's nice and warm and he doesn't mind being out if it's a little bit warmer. But we've got masses and masses to do. This bit behind me, this is where we had some trellis. I don't know if you remember, the peacocks jumped on it and the whole thing collapsed. It was rotten anyway, but we've taken all that down and we're just debating what to put in its place, whether we thought about whether we should put hedging in or whether we should put some other kind of trellis. We're still thinking about things like that, and in fact I have been doing a video, working on the video on hedges, so that's coming, but it's too nice a day to be inside doing editing. I just need to get outside. So join us as we just go around doing a few jobs today, see what we can get done. I'll just show you what's going on in the greenhouse. You can see the greenhouse is absolutely heaving already, and it's only February, but I have made a good start. I've got a lot of things that I sowed in the autumn that have done actually really well. This is the Ami Visniger. I've got the, I think this is the other Ami. This is Ami Majus. That's the Erigeron that I want for the little middle circle up in the Arboretum area. This is grass. This is a Brisa Maxima. More Ami there, some Antirrhinums. This is the Dorcas carotea, which I'm really pleased has come through because I've been wanting to grow that for some time. And then here I've got the ranunculus, which I've just started off yesterday. So they've just gone in. I've got 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5 trays of ranunculus. I've never grown ranunculus before, but I know on Instagram everybody's raves about ranunculus, so I thought I should give them a go. I've also started off the broad beans, so they just went in yesterday. I've got a few things here just on the propagators. This soil's gone a bit green, but there are some things coming through. What's that? That's the tumbling tom, one of the tomatoes. That's some of the lettuce, and everything else hasn't really got going yet. But yeah, the greenhouse is a bit chaotic, to be honest. I need to get in here and give it a good clean, which I haven't done yet. But the glass all needs cleaned. But anyway, I've made a good start. I'll put the succulents outside very soon. And here in the parterre, I've been busy. Last weekend it was vile, but I made myself come outside and just do a little bit of rose pruning. So the roses have been pruned. There's Murphy. Hey, Murph. And yeah, they're all looking good. I could do with some manure. I'll get some manure on those from Mike. And then I might even top up a little bit with the strolch underneath. But the strolch is brilliant, and I hardly get any weeds. I literally haven't weeded at all. There were no weeds in there when I did the rose pruning. So yeah, that's looking nice. So this is the area where I was a minute ago with there's no trellis there now, so we need to decide what's going to happen there. All these pots have been moved out of the way just while we were clearing it. And the fence has gone very green, so that's going to need painting. Alistair has done the pruning of the pleach trees, and they're looking lovely. He's done both rows, and he's also done the lime tree, which is the lime trees which are down there. And today we thought we might try and tackle the Prunus lusitanica. We didn't get those cut last year because of Alistair's accident. I think that was the reason. So we'll get on and do those today. I have made a bit of a start on the borders, but a lot more needs to be done. I did do some cutting back, but there is, as I say, there is a lot to do, particularly this border. I didn't really finish that one. So yeah, I need to get on and do that. And I need to, there's lots to do. Anyway, now up here is looking quite messy really, but you'll see, I have removed the box hedging. I did that last Sunday, and to my surprise it came out really, really well. So it's quite daunting doing this, admittedly. It's just, there's so much work, but at least the box is gone. And you'll see all the green shoots that are coming through. These are all the Camassia bulbs. So the advantage of doing it at this time of year is I can see exactly where the bulbs are. masses and masses of weeds, but I think I'm just going to have to start at one end, keep my head down and just focus on what's in front of me. So that's my job somewhere, but yeah, there is a lot to do. The garden's looking quite messy, but it's important to see. I don't want to just show everything looking perfect, which it definitely isn't, but it's good to see what goes into a garden and not just the final result, but rather the hard work that goes into it. This area is looking okay. Yeah, we need to do more with this area, but the foundations are there. We've got other ideas and things, but we're working away, chipping away at things slowly. So I've just been doing a little bit of work in these borders. So we've removed the obelisks. The obelisks have come out. I think we're probably not going to use them in this part of the garden, but I will show you where we might put them. So the stipa has been cut back, or the stipa, depends how you say it. That's been cut back. I did that one a couple of weeks ago and you can see it's starting to regrow. They will need to be put in pots, but I'm not going to do it just yet. I've dug the roses up. These are the Olivia roses, so they're all in pots. I don't know what we'll do with them. Everything in here is to go. So you can see these are all the Camassia bulbs. It's a good time to do it because you can actually dig up the Camassias, and I've got a few people that want them. So I've just put them in pots like this, and I can just give them to people. Now, this is the Aquilegia, the granny bonnet. That's the petticoat pink one, which I'm quite keen to keep because it is a lovely one, and I might take out some of the ones in the lower part of the garden and substitute it for the nicer Aquilegia. So here are the Camassias, and this, you could see that I've got hundreds of them, so I could dig up more and keep potting them on. So making good progress on that side, just clearing. I've moved the roses and I've moved the sedum and things like that. But now on this side, I've just got to tackle these stipa gigantea. Stipa this one is a semi-evergreen, so you can just leave it, just cut off all these the broken stalks, cut those down to the ground and just sort of pull out any dead bits. But I find that quite difficult to do, so I prefer to cut mine, level them to the ground, and I also want to dig these clumps up ready for the big redesign and clearing all these borders. So I will be lifting them, so for that reason I'm going to cut mine back, and it's simply a case of just levelling it to the ground. So I'm just going to put my sunglasses on because it's sunny, but also they can act as my safety goggles. And that's it. And here is Head of Health and Safety, Murphy, just reminding Al, he's just about to show you a new gadget that he's got, but Murph's just reminding him that he really must wear his ear defenders. So this is a new machine, a new attachment for Alistair's still. He uses this as his hedge cutter, but this is an attachment that he's got for it. And he got it for cleaning patios and things. So it's particularly quite good here on the cobble sets because they're quite undulated and it's quite difficult to get in between them to clean it. So he's just bought this and wanted to test it out. He uses it for all sorts of jobs when he's cleaning other people's gardens and patios and things, but obviously he likes to test everything before he does on our own. So look how good this is at getting out all the stuff in between the cobble sets. Really, really good, although he is flicking all over the gravel, which is not so good. But yeah, it looks good. I thought perhaps going forward on the channel it might be a useful feature to do review of different types of equipment as to whether or not it's suitable for more a domestic gardener or whether it's more suited to professional gardeners. I thought this might be quite an interesting feature. Let me know if you're interested. Oh look, I've just noticed that the little crocuses are all out in the Vigiga planter that we did in the autumn. Aren't they pretty? And that's the skimmia and the grasses. And what else have we got? I think we put pansies in. So it's looking lovely. Now we're in the vegetable patch, and we're going to cut the fruit bushes back. We've got a blueberry there, we've got apples to do. These are espaliered apples and pear trees. We've got pears down at the bottom. The first two are pears, and then the rest are apples. This apple tree got a bit damaged in a storm, and it's in a bottomless pot, but you can see that it's rocking, so that will need to be fixed. Then here we've got gooseberries and black currants, and so now is the time to cut these back quite hard. So this is the next job. So Al's just cutting back the blueberry bush for its spring cut back. Oh, isn't this little pot looking lovely? So I was just moving the dead, diseased and crossing branches, letting lots of airflow through the plant, and that allows the sun to get to the fruit to ripen it. And next we're on to the espaliered fruit trees. And espalier just means that you're training the tree against a support such as a fence, and you've got this vertical stem, one stem with several tiers coming off that of horizontal branches. It's a bit like pleaching, but you allow more space between the vertical branches so that the fruit is able to ripen on the branches. It's a really space-saving, good way of growing fruit. It doesn't take up much room at all, so if you've got a small garden, it's really perfect. We've got lots of trees in what is relatively a small space, and we can still grow other fruit and vegetables next to them. So it's quite space-saving. It's very, very productive. We get masses and masses of fruit from these trees. I think last year, the pear trees particularly, which have been in longer, I think we had it sort of around about 30 to 40 pears from just one tree. So initially it's all about getting the long-term shape. So you sacrifice fruit in the early years for the sake of getting the framework, but once you've got that, it's relatively easy to maintain. So Al's just going along, just pruning back to the flowering bud, and that will ensure we get a good production of fruit this year. And Al tends to use this green sort of padded wire to hold the branches onto the wire, and what will happen is as the branches get bigger, if you're not careful, it will start to sort of strangle the branches. So it's really important every year just to go through and loosen them off, just to make sure they're not damaging the branches. So we do that every year. And you'll see that the structure is really starting to come together now, and we're getting actually some of the branches are starting to join, and then they start to fuse together and they form this really solid structure. And now for the blackcurrant bushes, which are getting a bit wild looking. I'm not really sure whether we did this last year. We've also got two gooseberry bushes, and they're all quite close together. Murphy's just brought his bed outside and gone for a little snooze. So I'm just going to get in here. It's the blackcurrant bush is fine, quite easy to do. It smells lovely actually. As you cut it, you can smell the smell of blackcurrants. The gooseberry bush is a bit more tricky because it's very, very prickly, but I soon managed to do it. I've got this kind of gauntlet glove on, which is really helping not to get stabbed. So that looks much, much better. Lots more air getting into the plant. What I am going to do, you can just see there are lots of suckers with the blackberry bush, and this has got actually turned into a really big plant. I only had 2 plants to start with, so this is one that's self-seeded, and it's a bit too near the fence and it's interfering with the apple trees, the espaliered apple trees. So I'm going to dig that out, and I could give it to someone because it's quite a nice plant. But you can see lots of suckers, lots of plants for free there if I wanted to pot any of those up. So that's the blueberry done, the gooseberries, the blackcurrants. Al's done all the espaliered trees. That fence could do with a lick of paint, and they're starting to join up, which is lovely. These are the pears, and they're doing incredibly well, but the bit of the wire has broken here, so that will need to be fixed as well, but it's a good chance to just assess how everything's doing, and it seems to be doing very well indeed. That's the fruit bushes all cut back, and we've got these two rather lovely plants which I know somebody who wants them, so that's good. So you can just hear the noise in the background. He's doing the Portuguese laurels, so I'll go and have a look at what he's up to. He's finished doing the parterre, and look how nice that's come up, really, really good. It's a good machine. It's a lovely evening. So we've got lots done in a day. He's just making a start on the Portuguese laurels, and they get pruned into a nice umbrella shape. And Portuguese laurels, or Prunus lusitanica, which is its proper name, they make fantastic trees. They take a really good cut. We don't normally cut them at this time of year. We normally cut them after they've flowered a bit later on, but because they missed their cut last year, they were just getting really shaggy and getting a bit too big for this area. In hindsight, we should have spaced them out a little bit better than we did, because it was difficult to imagine when they're so small how big they're actually going to get. But they also make fabulous hedges. Prunus lusitanica, really, really lovely hedge, far nicer than common laurel. And I will be, when I come on to do the hedging video, we'll talk a little bit more about these, but they're really lovely trees, make these lovely lollipop, good structured trees. Oh, and by the way, we have just put the obelisks here just to try them in the quadrant garden. I don't know what you think, whether it works. I think we definitely paint them perhaps a green colour, but I quite like them here actually. I think they add a little bit of height. So it's now nearly 6 o'clock actually. Look how light it still is. It's been such a lovely day. Feels really nice to get outside again after a very long winter, and it felt quite spring-like. So we've made a good start, getting a few jobs done. Plenty more still to do, but we've got all the fruit cut back. That's something in itself. Made a little bit of a start with the big borders, but still masses and masses to do there. And Alistair's made a start with the Prunus lusitanica, the Portuguese laurel trees. He's been cutting those back. So all in all, we've made some decisions. I think some decisions on this area, what we want to do instead of the trellis. Done lots of weeding, and just generally really enjoyed it. So time to go inside. It's really getting cold now, and join us again in the next video. Bye for now.